everybody. This is Jeff, the business guru, coming to you once again. Off holidays. I'm back in downtown Manila. Not for long, though. I'm off to China next week and then off to Vietnam for a holiday. We all want a holiday, but when I go on holidays, I work. I got an awesome guest today, and she's an amazing woman. I'm going to put her up as probably one of my top three guests out of 300. Let's see if she can elevate herself to number one position. Her name is Ronnie Loaiza. And Ronnie is a certified habit coach, master certified professional coach, certified personal trainer, experienced catalyst speaker. We're going to tell you more about that shortly. Ronnie Life Coach is the company name. Professional development, health, wellness, fitness, years in the industry. She's been doing a lot of things. Been doing coaching, habit coaching, 14 and a half years as a certified personal trainer. I wish you got that half a year from. How did you know that? She must have put a note in her calendar. A brief description of her business. She helps people reach their goals, daily goals, long-term goals alike, with their habits. And habits are things, guys. Habits will set you free, believe me. Instead of the usual self-discipline, fake motivation, something like that, or forced willpower, all of which usually lead to quitting and burnout, she helps them have more in their times instead of adding more to their busy schedules. People work with Ronnie for career growth, career transition, life transition, especially in midlife, health, changing dreams and goals, fitness, eating, and self-care, and how all of those aspects of their life can affect each other. And that's right, guys. And all of these aspects, the key achievements or projects. Ronnie has built a successful career as a TV, radio news reporter and anchor, earning journalism awards from the San Diego Press Club, being featured in Paris Passion, La Voyage, and more. Personal health challenges had led her into the fitness and wellness field at 46. And midlife, she became a certified personal trainer, helping clients achieve their best fitness, not just through proper exercise, but by focusing on behavioural change, guys. If nothing changes, you won't change, guys. Reach out to this lady. Have a virtual cup of coffee. What's the worst you can do? Have a virtual cup of coffee and see how she can inspire you as she has for me. Right? She's now a master certified professional coach and certified habit coach, supporting people through career transitions, relationships, parenting, divorce, and self-care. Now I'm going over the page, guys. I'm on page 9, I think, right now. And the good news is you're never too old to set your ways or to create a change or a habit. Interesting fact about herself, she first flew on a plane internationally when she was 1 week old, 1 week, not 1 week old. She's never stopped traveling since and loves travel, as do I, guys. I mean, a lot of you people have never been outside your suburb, let alone your city. Get a passport and travel. Thank me later. In fact, anyone that wants to travel, here's my offer to you. I'll give anyone out there a 7-day, listen carefully, a 7-day free holiday in one of my luxury condominiums overlooking Manila Bay if you reach out this month. There's the offer, guys.
Okay, I'm reaching out now. I'm reaching out right now. I'm the first in line.
$1,095. It's there for the taking, guys. Whoever wants to come, you're most welcome. Anytime you can't come is in December, where I'm always booked out with my regulars, of course. Anyway, it's my great pleasure to welcome to the stage Ronnie. Now, I've got to move my cup of coffee, move everything out of the way. My girl's organised my desk, and she's put everything on, very what I need. Here's my sheet. 15 minutes of fame. We've got all these wonderful questions. Ronnie, let's start. Tell us about your journey and what inspired you to pursue your career all those years ago. What's your story?
Well, I was, as you said, I'll give you the Reader's Digest version. Remember that? I was a news anchor reporter. I moved from San Diego to LA, and I became from a TV to radio anchor. And in midlife, I had a lot of pain. So I had some health issues. Literally, I had done too much aerobics. Remember that? Now it's called cardio. But I had really pounded my body. And so I was having hip pain, and Western medical doctors, Eastern medical doctors, acupuncture, decompression, everything didn't fix it. And I didn't want to have my back fused. Finally, somebody, a chiropractor, put me with a corrective exercise personal trainer. I'm like, really? Well, my insurance paid for it, so I went for it. That's a big deal here in the United States. And within 2 weeks, after 5 years of pain, I didn't hurt anymore.
Awesome.
And I was so impressed. And I guess it was the journalist in me or me who became the journalist because of my, I need to know why is my favorite question and word. I would always talk to her about this research I did and this and that. And she started telling me, my personal trainer, you need to become a personal trainer. You need to be a personal trainer. Now, I got to tell you, Jeff, I was not athletic. I was the last one pick on every team whenever in school, dodgeball, whatever. And she's like, it doesn't matter. You're in great shape now. You don't hurt anymore. You're 40, you're 45 at the time. She's like, you're a walking billboard for those just like you. They'll believe you. They'll relate. So a year later, I woke up one morning and I thought, what do I want to do the next 20 years of my life? I think I'll become a personal trainer. So I studied my butt off, took the hardest exams there were so I could be an internationally certified personal trainer. And ta-da, at 46, I did that along with all my colleagues who are in their 20s taking the exam. But I started training people then. And back then, Jeff, now in hindsight, I see I was implementing habits because I said, behavior change was the biggest deal. I didn't care if you showed up. If my client shows up for 5 minutes and people watches at that gym, it was the habit of going, the habit of going, the habit of going. Anybody can give you a workout. Anybody can give you a YouTube link to follow a workout, but it's the habit that becomes part of your identity, who you are, because it's weird if you don't do it. I just had a coaching session today where she said, you know what? I thought I haven't worked out yet today. Even if she didn't feel like it, it was weird to her if she didn't, because now it's formed into a habit. Even if it's 5 minutes, 20 minutes, whatever it is, it doesn't matter what you do. Your routine can change. Routines are not habits, but it's your habit of doing it at the same time in the same context. And you can change up the routines. So I know that's kind of long-winded, but my journey took me there. And I always wanted to help people be the best of that individual could be. And long story short, when the pandemic happened, I couldn't go to my private clients anymore at boutique studios or their home. So bing, bang, boom, we went on Zoom. And some women started telling me about their colleagues, their wife, not their wife, their sister, their boss. She's just not working out. She's not fitting fitness in her life. And I was like, really? I thought everybody got a Peloton. So I started going, well, do you want me to talk to her? And I started coaching people online, but I didn't know it was coaching. I would just talk to them, find out what the real problem was. And then we would find a solution of just a little tiny habit. Talk to the kids. It's mom's time. Talk to your partner, because everybody was home at the time. Whatever it is, assign an area, make it your little gym or yoga corner, whatever it was. We started finding solutions, and I would get them to make it a habit. And so fast forward, a couple of people told me, you should be a coach. One person said, God, you coach me so well. So I thought, okay, should I be a fitness coach? What? And back then, everybody's like, niche, micro niche. So I was like, am I a midlife, fab after 50s coach, a women's coach? What am I? There's so many. Finally, I'm like, I'm not going to niche it if it's not really me, because I was starting to help people in various aspects of their life. So I finally took it seriously, and I became an ICF accredited International Coaching Federation coach, and I've moved up in the levels. I have found the psychology amazing, and I wanted the curriculum to follow. No one has asked me to mail them my certification. It's behind me if I take off this virtual background. Very proud of it. The hours, the mentoring, you have to be audited. And then as I started coaching people, I started implementing my old Ronnie way of getting them to start small, not big, because so many plans and courses and programs or diets and detoxes and challenges, they go by the wayside. They slip.
You make me tired.
I know. And they don't finish those programs or courses they paid for. Why? Because it wasn't what they were doing in the first place. They're trying to jam it into what they were already doing. Yeah. So I started implementing, start small, tiny, one little action that will have you do the minimal that day. Yeah. I realized those are habits. And the more I read about habits, which I always have anyway, I found that there is such a thing as a certified habit coach. And there are various schools for that. So I became a certified habit coach. I went through the schooling, the training, the hours, all of that. And I love it. Habits are my jam, because 50% of each of our days, 40 to 50% minimum, is a sequence of habits. That's half your day that is run by habits and your habitual way of thinking, which I call it your default programming way of thinking and reacting to things.
Let me tell you something. Guys who are listening, think about this. McDonald's, the hamburger people, they run a billions of dollar empire with 15-year-olds, and yet the mother can't get them to clean their bedroom. Why?
Yeah.
McDonald's have got habits and systems in place the mother hasn't. So it's all about habits, guys, and train them all together.
I'm so glad you just systems. Oh, that's one of my love words. You know why?
Yeah,
And
of
yes,
course.
they're in the habit of going to McDonald's and they've got a way of getting you in, like the funnel way.
That's right.
A long time ago, as a personal trainer, I read something in Forbes where the most successful, quote, successful meaning dollar signs in euros and yen, the most successful people in business were successful because they had systems in place in their business. As you know, from IT to HR to everything, they had systems in place. Well, what are habits? Systems. They're subconscious rapid fire systems
That's right.
from one trigger all the way to the activation, all the way to the action, all the way to completion. But this is what I read that caught my attention in that article. It was the most successful people do not rely on constant willpower because they have systems in place. And I wanted to find out what that was. So they're in the habit. They set their company into habits, the normal way of doing things.
Absolutely.
So I take that into my habit coaching because whenever people keep revving up and revving up and revving up that willpower, it gets exhausting and it leads to burnout. Or when you're constantly forcing yourself with discipline, they quit. They fizzle out. Or when you're waiting to be motivated, I can't find my motivation. I just don't feel motivated. I've heard that a million times in my coaching. Well, guess what? You have a motive, there's your motivation. Let's move on. Make something a habit that will get you to do the very least that drives you to that goal.
Moving on, what's been the most challenging aspect of your work over the years, and how have you overcome that?
The current work I'm going to speak to, it's always attaining clients because at least I think because I'm a little bit snarky and really when people said you should be a life coach, I'm like, what the heck's a life coach? You know, a Jeff Shetty wannabe. I mean, I was really snarky about it. So putting out there that I'm a life coach wasn't enough for me. It's the content of presenting yourself. And I was a little embarrassed at first when I saw my old news director. How you doing? Years later, like 2 years later, how are you doing? What are you doing now? It got caught in my throat. Like, I'm a life coach. It just sounded so woo. I'm a life coach, and I had to get over that. Like, damn it, darn it, I am a life coach. And so I had to find the confidence in that I'm helping people. So I think that's the biggest aspect is getting over people's going, yeah, right, that's so woo woo. I'm a pragmatic wooist.
I get woo woo. Funny enough, you say that. Listen, guys, I've done 300 podcasts, and about episode 30 odd, I started to get these people who came on and started saying spiritually, holistically, right. And I sort of said, oh, geez, it's not another woo woo person. And then a little voice said to me, listen, Jeff, there's a spot for woo woo people in the world as well. So don't be so judgmental. Let the woo woo people have their platform and don't be judgmental. Just move along. Because there's something for everybody. And Ronnie's sure is proof of that. Tell us about an important moment in your career that changed your direction. How'd you go from the hostess with the mostess on TV into a life coach? Where was that aha moment?
Well, I told you my journey, so that really was the aha moment. But the aha moment that got me into personal training, which later evolved into you should be a coach, was I got disenchanted, and you're not here in the United States, so I'm only going to speak to the United States. Local news, I could air the exact same drive-by or the exact same break-in footage from 10, 14, 20 years ago. Only if you recognize the year model of a car would you know the difference. It was the same sensational story.
Turn the TV off and improve your lives.
I'm talking local news. It just
Yeah.
became all of a sudden didn't like it anymore. I wasn't watering the grass, you know, and I was looking for something new. That's why I woke up one morning. I'm like, I'm kind of tired of this. I didn't like being a reporter, being forced to be so sensational because of the market I was in. And I loved being personally trained. I was in my best shape at 46. So I'm like, you know what? I think I'll look into being a personal trainer. So I think that was the aha moment. I'm like, I want to water not where the grass is already green. I want to water where it's brown and make it green.
Tell me, in your opinion, what are the key qualities and skills that have contributed to your amazing success?
The key, what skills?
The key qualities and skills that have contributed to your amazing success.
I've always asked why. That may have bugged teachers when I was a kid. I always asked why. My boyfriend in university was like, why? You always ask why. And so later on, that's why I joke around. It's like, was my curiosity and my tenacity what made me a good reporter? Or was was I a good reporter because of Ronnie Loaiza?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So it's kind of the same. So I think my biggest quality has always been listening between the lines. I could always tell when people are about to have a conflict or a conversation when I listen to
Love it.
adults. I
Yeah.
always listen to when there's about to be a miscommunication when there is among other people. And now I bring that into my coaching. I listen between the lines.
And empathy. You got it in spades. Empathy. You got it in spades, my friend. Tell me, how do you stay motivated and continue to innovate in your field? What's your secret?
Oh, I'm always researching and go down rabbit holes. That's
Yeah.
both my Achilles here, my detriment, but a great quality, I think.
I
Because
know all about
when
that.
somebody picks up something new, I want to know what, why, who, when, how. And I want verification. We don't have enough of that now with social media.
Yeah.
Don't just read a Facebook post and believe it.
Yeah.
Where's the attribution? And where's your second source?
Yeah. I got a funny one. When I was younger, you've been through this. When I was younger, they said when we were kids at school, like 8 or 10, every day they gave us a small bottle of milk. In the wintertime, they put it on the heater and heated it up, right?
Uh-huh.
And then years later, don't drink milk. Milk's bad for you. So I'm confused. Which is it? Do you drink milk or you don't drink milk? I still don't know to this day. Right?
Yeah.
You know, so you're right about do a bit of fact finding, guys. If you'll always get a different opinion, but make use common sense. Make your own opinion, guys. Read the facts, but then make your own opinion from what you do find out. Um,
Yeah.
Tell us a recent project or achievement of your many that you're particularly proud of, Ronnie.
Oh, I got onto 3 speaking stages in person this year. And it's a kind of accomplishment for me because I wasn't seeking that, but it was in my own backyard. I live in Los Angeles. So I went to Orange County, which is about an hour and a half away.
Yeah.
I was asked to speak at a women's executive coaching. I mean, not executive networking conference.
Speaking about.
Well, the thing is, it was called Build It. And the lady who was interviewing people to be possible speakers, she's like, I don't want to hear about habits. And I don't want to hear about life coaching. We got too many coaches. What do you think you could bring to the table? But I needed to bring to the table my habits, right? So I said, well, I could speak about one aspect of habit coaching, which I think your people will enjoy. And it was celebrate. I call accountability celebrative accountability. Celebrate to validate every time you do that action. I'm on my way. I'm doing it. Done. Did it. Yay. Whatever. It doesn't have to be long.
Yeah, keep growing.
And even if you don't want to do that action, you can say, I hate doing this and I'm doing it anyway. Not but. Kick out the word but. And I'm doing it anyway. You know why, Jeff? Because when you hear this, you validate that you hate it. Yeah, it's the truth. And your brain goes, noted, capable. You hate it and you're doing it. You're capable, noted. You're rewiring your brain. So I brought celebrative accountability. That was my talk. Celebrate. So before I got up on stage and I was going around the different tables of the exhibitors, I made some connections and I asked 3 women, would you mind if I called on you during my speech to answer a question? Well, what will it be? I'm not going to tell you right now. Do you mind? And they're like, sure. So I asked them, okay, everybody up. No, and I said, oh no, I met 3 people and I named one. Would you please get up? Everybody, and I introduced her. I'm like, what did you name me one win that we can celebrate? Something that you made happen. A win is not like, oh, it's great weather today. You didn't make that happen. Something you made happen in about 24 hours.
Sure.
And she's like, oh, well, I beat my kids at this game. And I was like, oh, she likes beating her kids. And everybody just started laughing. But then I called on the 2 other people like, oh, and they told us things that they made happen within the 24 hours and people would give them rounds of applause. I engaged them right from the get-go. Jeff, that is an accomplishment of mine because I realized I like doing those, not just on podcasts on Zoom.
It's fun.
And then I volunteered to do 2 other speeches in my own backyard to geek techs. Sure. And I brought them self-care, how they can be more creative. They wanted to hear creative because everybody tells them time management. They loved it. And I spoke at another service club. So that's my biggest accomplishment is trying something new, even though I was scared. And I like it. I'm helping people with it.
Yeah. What I do, guys, every week, by the way, I celebrate my wins in some small way on a Friday or Saturday. I celebrate my wins, and monthly I have a big celebration. Every 3 months I go overseas. That's the ultimate win, right? And that's on my calendar. That's what I do every 3 months. You won't find me here. You'll find me somewhere floating around overseas. In fact, the other day I had this brainwave. I've done over 300 of these, and I thought, hey Jeff, You're 77, you're going to run out of time before you run out of ideas. Why don't you, at the end of the year, pack up your laptop and go around the world and have a real cup of coffee with every one of the guests you've interviewed? Now, wouldn't that
Oh
be?
my goodness, I love that. You should have a show about that.
Yeah, it's been pretty cool, eh? Pretty
A
cool.
travel show. The thing is, okay, we're bringing it back down to science. When you celebrate your win immediately, you're retraining your brain.
Yeah.
What fires together, wires together. So if you can do something somatic, meaning using your body, if you just say it out loud, you're hearing it. Plus, it's coming out of your chest, out of your throat, out of your mouth. Even better, write it down and say it out loud. Even better, look at yourself in the eyeballs. The more senses you can apply to it, that more you rewire your brain. So it's scientifically backed. It's not woo. So have fun with it, because good habit or bad habit alike, your brain doesn't judge it. It just wants the reward, and you always get a reward. Bad habit, good
Every
habit.
day can be a good day, guys. Don't have stinking thinking. Wake up with the right attitude. If you've got stinking thinking, think about that and change it. Change it. Keep smiling. A smile costs you nothing, but you can brighten up other people's lives with a smile. It's that simple. Tell me, what advice would you give a 20-year-old version of you? What would you tell her if you walked in the door tomorrow and said, I'm not sure what I want to do? What would you tell her?
Quit following the crowd. Don't be a sheep, and
I like that one.
don't keep quiet because you're afraid to speak up, or because at the time, and in my generation, you did keep quiet. You kind of blended in. You wanted to fit in, right? And the only times that we celebrated in our youth, the rebels, were in the movies, on TV shows, in songs. But the majority of people were not rebels, especially women. Now, I use my voice because I didn't use it in my 20s. Yes, I talked, and yes, I danced, and yes, I put myself out there. But I mean, when it really counted. Why? Because until you're 27, a French woman told me this when I lived in Paris in my late 20s. Oh, you're so young. You will really know who you are at 27, but not now.
Absolutely.
I carried that on with me. Like, what does she mean? After I hit 27, I swear she was right.
Yeah, love it. Yeah.
So in my 20s, I would tell myself, find your voice. What do you really value? And start sharing it.
That's the one. I love it. Tell me, looking ahead, what are your goals and aspirations for the future? You're only at base camp. You've got a long way to go yet. So what are your goals and aspirations?
Right now, my instant aspiration is to be invited to more platforms in person. Yes, I will travel because I love to be there. I don't like getting on the plane and traveling, going to the airport, but I love once I get there. I love traveling, also locating in my own backyard, as well as virtual. Yes, the talking head and the summits, the podcast. I love that. I love speaking, but not just speaking. Actually, like in that speech to Build It, the Women's Networking Conference, I call them to action. I ask them to pick one little. Not just educate, but calling them to action to pick one action right then and there or within 24 hours and share it with me to get them started. I take it from inspiration and motivation, you feel good during this talk, to, okay, now what? The next step, let's take it into action. So my thing right now is looking for more platforms where to share this and help people with something valuable.
We're going to help you do that. Looking ahead, how can our listeners reach out and find out more about your wonderful services, Ronnie, and maybe have a virtual cup of coffee with you? What's the best way to do that?
My Calendly link, my Calendly link, Let's Chat, which is in the show notes, I'm sure. But you will find me easy. Ronnie Lowe, that's L-O, RonnieLoweLifeCoach.com. You can find my Calendly link in there as well. And I'm on LinkedIn all the time. I love LinkedIn.
Yeah, there you go, guys. There's the invitation for you. And before we wrap it up, Ronnie, which we're about to do, tell us a fun fact about yourself. Not the fact you were traveling when you were 1 week old. Tell us another fun fact about yourself that most people don't know.
Most people don't know that I first got my ears pierced on the day I was born, just because my mom wanted them pierced, which I'm glad because I never felt the pain, right? I don't remember it. And when I was a week old, I boarded a plane, Pan Am, remember that airline? And flew internationally when I was 1 week old. So I had a passport.
Pretty awesome. You must have had a wonderful mother, my friend. You must have had a wonderful mother.
My mother loved traveling.
What a role.
She never said no. Packed her bags, went. And she used to send us somewhere every summer. We didn't stay home and do nothing.
See?
Every summer.
Wow. What a grounding you had. You're such a lucky person to have such a wonderful woman behind you. What a grounding that was.
Because the more you travel, I find, the more I travel, the more I know I don't know.
Absolutely. But in fact, my favorite mantra, guys, I'm going to give it to you. It cost me $20,000. I promise you. I paid a man $20,000. I didn't like the guy. He didn't like me. I think my ego was in the way at the time. And he taught me one thing. I never even used it until about 5 years after he was long gone. It was this: you don't know what you don't know. And I work on that every day, guys, because there's so much I don't know. And I've got, like Ronnie, I've got a thirst for knowledge. And knowledge is power, but only if you use it, and use it for good. Use it, help people. And we're going to wrap this up now, Ronnie. Thanks for being on the show. And guys, if you want your 15 minutes of fame, reach out. Don't forget to like, subscribe to his channel. You're going to meet over 300 interesting people just like Ronnie. And every man and woman out there's got a story. It's not always about the roses, guys. You've got to have rainbow. Got to have rain to see a rainbow. Remember. So reach out. Come on our wonderful show, 15 Minutes of Fame, where it's all about you. And I want you to think about this, guys. It's $30,000 for a TV commercial. And more often than not, people will jump up and go and grab a drink or make a burger or go to the toilet, whatever, and miss the whole damn thing. 10 radio spots in your city are going to set you back anything from $3,000 to $5,000, and they invariably play them at 1 or 2 o'clock in the morning when people are asleep. You can come on 15 Minutes of Fame, and we'll make you more famous. We'll put you across Quora, Reddit, LinkedIn, Facebook, my Facebook group with 6,500 members, and of course YouTube with all your social media links. And we'll put you in front of hundreds of potential clients. There's the offer, guys. Come on the show. We'd love to hear your story. Once again, thanks for being on the show today, Ronnie. I'm going to elevate you to number 2.
I just want to say that I started listening to your podcast when I found you, and I work out listening to podcasts, and they're short enough, and I love your guests. So that's how I connected with you. And one little thing, my mantra is you're never too old or set in your ways to create a new habit.
Yeah. You know who my number 1 is? Listen to this, guys. A chap who came on my podcast, probably guest number 50 or so, right? He came on my podcast and he comes on, he's a little skinny guy, and he's got not really broken English, but not perfect English. And I thought, oh, God, do we have a woo-woo? Who do we have here, a woo-woo person? And he opened up his mouth and started talking. It was the most interesting man I've ever met. He was 80 years old. He's an Italian fitness coach called Rocco, and he trains the stars in Hollywood. And he had some bloody awesome backstories. So look for that episode, guys. He's Rocco. He's awesome. Once again, thanks for being on the show. Thanks for being on the show, Ronnie. You've been awesome. Let's hope we get you on some more stages, my friend.